You need royalty-free music. I mean, nearly every creator does, but there's a lot of options out there to choose from. I've tested practically every one, and I'm about to break down which one comes out on top in 3 main categories. Number 1, asset variety. Number 2, the cheapest one without sucking. And number 3, the best overall. This video is completely honest and not sponsored, but I do have affiliate links to every single one of these sites down in the description below, so no matter which one you choose, I don't care. If you go through those links, you'll help support the channel. Okay, asset variety. Plenty of sites have just music and sound effects, but what if you're an editor that needs stock footage, motion graphics, all of that stuff? My winner here is Artlist, and specifically, I should have wrote this down, Artlist Max, because they have a bunch of LUTs, stock footage, and editing templates, all combined with some really high quality music and sound effects. This allows you to have all of your assets in one spot, and you can add them to individual artboards to keep everything organized. There are some sites out there like Envato or Motion Array that have a higher quantity of assets than Artlist, but the big problem with Envato is that their music is horrible, and the issue with Motion Array is that their music user interface is not nearly as built out as Artlist's, so Artlist is more enjoyable to use. They don't have any crazy advanced tools like Epidemic Sound, but they do have all of the basic functionality that you would expect from a site like this, like pre-curated playlist, a basic find similar tool, and stems for some of their songs. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Artlist has also just rolled out generative AI for creating photos and videos, so if you're into AI art or you use it for any sort of your editing, Artlist is definitely the place to be. Copyright clearing is also a breeze here because you can directly link any of your channels for them to be automatically safe listed, and you can also paste links to directly clear any client videos if you have a commercial subscription or higher. This isn't unique to Artlist though, this has sort of become the industry standard, but I just wanted to kind of point that out, that this system is good. One thing Artlist does do uniquely in this area though is providing the ability for you to download a PDF copy of your license for each song that you download. This isn't necessary and I've never had to use it personally, but it's an extra layer of peace of mind when it comes to soundtracking my client productions. What I've been talking about here is Artlist Max, which is the most expensive subscription that Artlist has to offer, but it gives you access to all of their assets. It's about $40 per month. Artlist also has cheaper subscription tiers that give you access just to music or just to music and sound effects, but if that's all you need, I actually recommend you go elsewhere. I'll give you 2 options for that. The first is our Budget King. This is the site that you want to use if you don't really want to spend like $10 or more per month on music licensing, and my choice for you here is Uppbeat. I haven't finished my full review on this site yet, but it's on the way. This is the cheapest without sucking because they have a completely free tier that allows you to get your feet wet without spending a dime. Well, I guess maybe they only allow you to get your toes wet because this limits you quite a bit to only 3 downloads per month. Not all of their library is available with the free tier, and copyright clearing is a bit more of a pain with it because it requires accreditation in your video's description. The paid tiers of Uppbeat remove all of these restrictions though, and they're still pretty inexpensive at $5.59 per month for the premium subscription and $15 per month with the business tier. For reference, Artlist, Epidemic Sound, and Soundstripe are all around $9 per month for their premium tiers and $20 per month for their commercial tiers. The only other site around the same price as Uppbeat is Universal Music for Creators. This is a decent option because they have far more quantity than Uppbeat, with over 50,000 songs and 200,000 sound effects. But the reason I prefer Uppbeat right now is that they have a much better user interface, which makes the user experience just way more enjoyable. Uppbeat has a lot of easily browsable playlists to help narrow down your music search much faster. They also have a music playlist generator that will take your prompt and find music within their library that matches what you're looking for. A bonus here is that Uppbeat also recently added a whole library of motion graphics and LUTs, which may or may not help out with your edits. You're not going to find as many here as you will on other sites like Artlist, but the library is still really impressive, especially for the price. Both Universal and Uppbeat make safe safe listing your YouTube channel's really easy, again, industry standard, but Uppbeat takes it one step further because they have a claim release tool that you can directly clear any videos that may have received an accidental copyright claim through. Accidental claims with any of these services are unlikely to happen, but it's not impossible, so it's nice to have that peace of mind that you have a way to resolve that easily. If you're concerned that you might run out of song choices with Uppbeat's relatively small 10,000 song library, then I would go with Universal Music for Creators instead. But otherwise, Uppbeat is my budget music king for 2025. But it's not the overall best. Now, this might not surprise you, but my choice for 2025 for overall best is Epidemic Sound. Epidemic Sound just kind of fires on all cylinders. First off, they have over 50,000 songs and 200,000 sound effects in their library, which has it tied with Universal Music for Creators of sheer quantity, and this is practically double what Artlist offers. Of course, the tracks sound really good too, and the user interface is awesome. Some highlights. They have suggested songs that are based on your channel and your download history right on the front page when you log in. They've got the most advanced Find Similar tool out of all their competitors, which allows you to search for songs that match individual segments of your chosen track. Their search bar is integrated with AI, so you can describe the song that you're looking for or paste a link to Spotify to find songs similar to a popular track that's inspired you. They have stems for every single one of their tracks. And most important of all, they have a new Create Versions tool, which allows you to lengthen or shorten any track to exactly the duration that you need for your edit. No more messing around with reverb or loops to get a track to match the segment of your timeline. This is worth the price of admission in and of itself, in my opinion. It has saved me so much time. It's just an incredible tool. The only service with something similar is Soundstripe. You can take some of their tracks and rearrange different portions of it to make the song sort of a remix of your own liking, but in my experience, this doesn't always sound great, and it's a little bit more manual and a little bit more of a pain in the butt. Soundstripe also costs the same as Epidemic Sound, and they have far less assets with only like 10,000 songs. So it's kind of a no-brainer. I don't see why you would go with Soundstripe over Epidemic. Epidemic Sound also has a plugin that brings their entire library directly into your editing software if you use Adobe or DaVinci Resolve Studio. This gives you drag and drop functionality from the library to your timeline and enables you to search for music and sound effects using AI to analyze your footage. Artlist has something similar, but with a couple less features, and it only works with Adobe, so Resolve users are out of luck. Epidemic is also now beta testing a voiceover generation tool to compete with Artlist's AI voiceover. I've used it and it works pretty well. Not quite as well as Artlist's yet, but again, it's still in beta, so it'll improve as we go forward in time. Price-wise, they're right in line with Artlist at $9.99 per month for the personal plan, but they're cheaper if you need clearance for client work, costing $16.99 per month for their commercial plan, as opposed to Artlist's $24.99 per month. And finally, if I'm not mistaken, Epidemic was actually the company that set the industry standard for copyright clearance using direct clearing for your channels and for URLs. So of course, you get all of that functionality with them as well. So all of that said, if you just need music and sound effects and some awesome tools to soundtrack your videos, Epidemic Sound is my #1 choice here in 2025. And if you want to dive a little bit deeper into that, see the nitty-gritty of it in my full detailed review, you can watch that review right up over here.